I remember when I turned black. Do you remember when you turned black? I mean, since we're talking about when folks turned black, I can absolutely remember when the world changed for me. I was in kindergarten, and they had begun busing the schools in Wisconsin, where I was at school, at an all-black school. This was 1975, maybe 76. And we were walking home from school, my brother and I, and there was a group of white people outside with glass bottles and sticks, and the sticks had like nails in them, and some of them had what looked like signs. I guess I know it now. And they were yelling, and there was no one there. And we were walking home, and there were children outside of myself and my brother who were trying to get home because we walked home. And I remember being called a monkey, and you're not going to school with my kids, and we don't want your black so-and-so and so-and-so over here, you N-word this and N-word that. And across the street, I could see my mother in a trench coat as she walked across the street. And it was as if her presence scared them all, and the crowd opened up like the Red Sea, and it parted for her. And she took our hands, and she said, "Hold your head up." I'll never forget that day. And when we got home, we learned we were black.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Today, one of the most heartbreaking and revealing conversation happening right now on the internet, the one where Black Americans are sharing their first time they realized they were black. Not the first time they were black, because of course that was from birth, but the first time the world forced that awareness upon them. It is a collective testimony, digital archive of what it feels like to lose the innocency of simply being human in a society that sees your skin before it sees your soul.
Story time. In light of recent events, I thought I would go ahead and share the story all about the day that I turned black. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, this is a joke. This is going to go somewhere. But hang on. It's not a joke. The day was April 11th, 2018. It was morning. I had just taken my son to school, and I was now back at home at my mom's house at the dining table, finishing up my breakfast. My son and I had just moved back to New Mexico from California. We had planned to be there very temporarily, and then COVID laughed in our faces or coughed in it. So we had been there maybe about 6 weeks at this point, and we're staying at my mom's house. Mom's husband had already gone to work, so it was just my mom and I in the house sitting at the table. She's munching on her oatmeal and reading the newspaper. I'm sitting at the table, I'm journaling. I see my phone light up beside me. I take a look at my phone and I have an email notification. So I go to click on the email notification, and it's from 23andMe. My heart starts pounding. My stomach is in my throat. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. The subject line is, "Your reports are ready." This is the moment I have been waiting for since I got to my mom's house in New Mexico. I excuse myself from the table, say I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I go into the bathroom, shut the door behind me, and I have a seat. I am anxiously opening up my email. At this point, I'm gonna fucking throw up. This is something that I have wanted to know my entire life, and I'm about to find out right now what the truth is. I'm sweating, palms are sweaty, heart is pounding. I click the link to go to my results, and I scroll. I see the first top of the results, which are European. I knew about that part. I wasn't worried about that. I was like, yeah. I don't care what the European is. Take me to the next part. So I scroll, and sure enough, there it is right in front of me. My other half, Sub-Saharan African. And it's clear that I am exactly who I thought I was, but I didn't ever have the clear answers to. In that moment, I realize my life has been a fucking lie. There's a lot processing, but that's the biggest part. So I say, okay, let me just clarify here. So I scroll down more just to see if there's anything else, specifically Hispanic. I look through 0% Hispanic. None whatsoever. No version of Hispanic is anywhere on my results, okay? It's 0%. It is black and white. Now, based off of these results, my dad is not my biological father. For a little bit of background, my mom is white. My dad, who raised me, is Mexican. My name is Elena. My last name is Flores. I have a very Hispanic name. I was conditioned my entire life to believe that I was half Mexican and half white. Growing up, I grew up in a very small town and there was really nobody who looked like me. The percentage of black people was very small. So you were either full black, Mexican, or white. As much as I didn't know how to express it growing up and I didn't really know how to consciously understand what I was feeling on a subconscious level, as I got older, frontal lobe did her thing and said, girl, you should probably take a DNA test because I think you are starting to figure it out. I think you're starting to figure out what everybody else has known all along. So at this point, my mom is still at the dining table, enjoying her breakfast, reading her newspaper, having no clue that the daughter who she knows is half black is in the bathroom having a fucking identity crisis at the age of 31. That's right. I was 31 when I found out this information. I'm still just trying to process the information that I just read. And I'm reading it over and over again. So like if you ever taken a pregnancy test and it turns up positive and you're like you're like, but really, like, you know, but you're still like, this is like, it's so surreal, right? Like this has just made it 1,000 times real. Bitch, I was pregnant all over again with myself, now presenting to the world somebody that I had not been my entire life. I stand up, I go to the bathroom mirror, I put my hands on the sink and I just look at my face. I just look at my face and I'm like, bitch, you've been cosplaying as Mexican this entire time. And you knew on the inside that you didn't look Mexican, but when people would ask you, you didn't know what to say because that's what you were told your entire life. I was like, I've been out here lying to folks and they're probably laughing in my face. People would ask me my entire life what I was mixed with, how I was Mexican, oh, I had this Mexican name. They'd be like, you have to be mixed with black, or be like, oh, are you black and Mexican because of my name? Or basically they'd be like, who lied to you? Somebody's lying. I've been asked if I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican. I can see how maybe the idea of me being Afro-Latina would make sense to people based on looking at me. So I'm going through all of this and then it hits me, girl, you've realized now that your dad is not your biological father. But who is? Then I'm like, oh shit, like there's a whole nother man in the story that I got to figure out. So at this point, I had heard my mom get up from the table. I had heard her go outside to the backyard. I heard the back door shut. So I'm like, okay, it's safe to go out and I don't even know what to do because I came into the bathroom half Mexican I walked into the bathroom half Mexican, kind of. Even though internally, obviously, I took this test for a reason, right? I was now walking out of the bathroom a new woman. Like I was now half black and I was very proud of that. I was so here's the thing. When I read these results, no part of me was angry or disappointed or upset. The only thing that really triggered me was now the fact that I had to figure out basically where I came from and who I actually was at the core of me. I had somebody ask me one time, what was your first reaction? Like, what did you first feel in your body whenever you got to the reports? I said the first thing I felt was relief. I can't explain it, but it was this, like I could take this big deep breath because I finally knew who I was and I knew the truth. And I don't know how to explain it. I know there are going to be a lot of people who are like, girl, what the fuck? Why were you telling people you were Mexican if you knew on the inside? Because this is what I was conditioned to be. I never felt the need to question my parents. I couldn't understand exactly why I looked the way that I looked. But at the same time, I was so close to my dad who raised me that there was no doubt in my mind that this man was my father. And so whenever the doubt did start to creep in at an older age as an adult, I felt bad about it. I felt really guilty. Because I didn't know the truth, I just continued to tell people who I thought I was and who my parents told me I was. Eventually, when people would be like, oh, what are you mixed with? I'd be like, oh, just a mix of it, like just a lot of things. Because I was kind of like, that's whenever I was getting into this point of, I don't know what the truth is. So I walk out the bathroom door, I look at my dog, I'm like, I'm half black. I'm ready to tell everybody. I'm excited about this, but I'm also like, I need some deets. Like I need a full on story. Now, it may sound like I'm making a joke of it now. And now I'm making it humorous. And parts of it were humorous, but also there was parts of it that I was still kind of numb. This was a lot for me to suddenly recognize, and I embraced it immediately. But at the same time, it was like an out-of-body surreal experience. Like I was now walking around seeing myself through other people's eyes, which was huge for me. I decided at this point, I'm not going to say anything to my mom right away. I just need some time to take this all in. I decide I'm gonna go to the gym, go work out. So before I go to the gym, I go into the kitchen. I'm about to make myself a protein shake, and I glance through the back door and see my mom hanging clothes on the line. So I go around to the back door and just stare at her for a little bit through the window. She can't see me, so I'm just watching her hang clothes on the line, play with the dog, and in my head, I'm like, this woman has been holding this in for 31 years. 31 years she has held on to some kind of secret. I don't know what the secret is yet, but she's held on to something. If you've made it this far, thank you for sticking around. In the next part, I will go into the conversation with my mom. It's getting juicy.
White people, it's your turn. If you woke up black, name one thing you would do that day. Now, disclaimer, this comment section was very, very respectful. They were not, you know what I'm saying, just like the other people for the black one. So, like, calm down, because I will block you. Make my butt do that jiggly thing. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Jordan, you made my side hurt. Helicopter. I'm assuming just the sound. But I honestly, somebody gonna have to break that one down for me. Because me, a black woman, I have no idea what you're talking about. First thing I do is check if my wee-wee got bigger. Now listen, Timothy, you a real one for this, okay? You are a real one for this. And I'm rooting for you, man. I'm rooting for you. Go get my hair done in micro braids. Y'all really want these braids, huh? You know, I don't blame you, because as you can see, a black girl in her braids, like, I get it. Laugh at a great joke while running around the house and not have to stand still. Wait a minute. Y'all have to stand still when you laugh? Like, do y'all just be standing there, you just, with posture and everything? Like, that's what y'all be. Y'all don't be, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't be like running around, basically like playing tag, beating folks up, laughing. It's like all the different varieties of ways that y'all just got salt and pepper on y'all laugh, huh? No season salt, no garlic and onion and thyme. Okay, well, bless you. I hope you get that opportunity for yourself. Not change the battery in my smoke detector. Black people, this cannot be our legacy. Go change that. You embarrassing us. Go change that battery in that smoke detector.
Can anyone relate to this? But I feel like the older I get, the blacker I get. Like, obviously, I was born black AF. I'm a black woman. I have always been a black woman. But I think growing up in white spaces, I spent so many of my formative years trying to fit in and trying to be like my white counterparts, hating certain parts of myself, wanting to change things about myself. But as you get older, you like blossom and you just like sink and lean into your blackness. Like, you want to be in black spaces, surrounded by beautiful black people, dating black men. Like, you just thrive in your blackness and you stop trying to fit in and you stop trying to assimilate. I just think it's such a beautiful evolution to finally just be comfortable being yourself and just being black as fuck. Like, ugh, I just love it for us.
I'm a black person from South America, specifically from Colombia, and I want to say this. Black people from the US are on a different level. Like, we literally need to learn from you guys when it comes to racism, inclusion, and everything that gravitate around race. You guys are on another level, because how is it possible that in every commercial ad on television, in almost every commercial, in almost every movie or show that goes on nationwide in this country, I see a black person? That's lovely. We don't have that in Colombia.
It took me 10 years to figure out I was black. When I was 8 years old, I moved to the United States. Before then, I had no concept of race. I had never even had a discussion about race because everybody around me looked like me. And as far as I was concerned, the whole world looked like me. So what was there to discuss? In fact, when I was born, I came out a little lighter than the village and the neighborhood was used to. And they told my mother to go get me tested to make sure that I wasn't being possessed by a demon. She didn't do that. So when she told me this story, I spent years fearing that I had actually been possessed by a demon this whole time. But that's another story for another time. Anyways, I'm in the United States. I'm learning English. I'm learning about the concept of race. I'm figuring out that really light-skinned little boy with the weird hair and the lips is actually not sick and dying. He's just white. I'm learning the names. I'm learning the labels. I'm figuring it out. But then something weird happened. As I learned the language and finally started understanding what the hell the people around me were saying, I realized that they kept referring to me as black. And I'm like, I'm not black, I'm Haitian. But I wasn't gonna tell them that because being Haitian in the early 2000s was not fun. And I was trying to assimilate. I was trying to get away from the bullying. I was trying to get away from the stereotypes. So I never corrected them. I never agreed because I didn't want to get caught lying, but I never corrected them. So then I'm like, okay, as long as I don't say anything, everything's fine. So as a result, I spent the next 10 years living in fear. Living in absolute fear that one day somebody was gonna figure out that I had been lying this whole time, that I was in fact not black but Haitian, that like and I'd have to I'd be shunned by the whole entire school. I would lose my reputation, non-existent as it was. I'd have to apologize at the end of the year. People would pull their trays away from me when I was walking by. They'd stop conversing and turn around and give me their backs when I was walking down the hall. I watched a lot of Disney movies, I don't know if you can tell, but I was afraid, right? And then one day, the worst happens. I'm talking to one of my good friends, and I admit to the fact that I'm Haitian. I let it slip. My deep, dark secret was now out in the open. And she just looks at me and goes, cool. That's kind of cool. And asking me questions. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh my God, she's such a good friend. She's willing to keep this secret for me. She's willing to carry this to her grave. She is willing to, if the worst ever happens, stands next to me on that stage as I apologize at the end of the year. But no, I had gotten it wrong. The next day, she sees me down the hall, screaming at the top of her lungs. She goes, hey, my Haitian queen. Why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to me? We'll call her Sarah. Why would you do this to me, Sarah? Why would you betray me? Does our super hula connection mean nothing to you? Our ships have been sailing the same tumbler waters for years. Why would you betray me? But I said all of this with my eyes, and I could tell she didn't understand because she just kept on waving. Long story short, I never trusted her with another secret. Fast forward after that traumatizing set of 4 years. Fast forward, I'm in college, and I decide, you know what? I'm gonna get right. I can't live like this. I can't keep living in fear. So my new, fresh, brand new set of friends, I went to school out of state. So there was no connections, no chance of someone from my high school being in my college. So I felt like I had a brand new start and that I could finally be myself. So I sat them down, I let them know, hey, I'm Haitian. And they're like, Okay, like that's cool. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, we're on the same page. They get it now. Like, I'm not black, I'm Haitian. I don't have to pretend to know all the references. I don't have to pretend to have grown up with all of like the 90s cartoons and the early 2000s cartoons, because I just got here. I got here in 2003. Like I didn't know, and then I had to spend years learning English. So all I knew was Dragon Tales and Arthur, you know? So then I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to lie. This is a fresh, brand new start. So one day, I'm at the cafeteria, like, and I overhear a conversation. And it's this girl talking about how she's tired of people using Black and African American interchangeably. My ears perk up. Because as far as my ESOL teacher was telling me, as far as I knew, y'all were the same. Black, African American, same damn thing. But she goes on to explain the difference between race and nationality and how she's so damn tired of people thinking that these things are the same thing and equating African American with Black. That was the moment I realized that I had been lied to, I had been fooled, I had been bamboozled, and actually I was Black this whole damn time. When I tell you I felt betrayed, when I tell you I felt mad, I wasted years, tiptoeing, pretending, years. And it was all for nothing. 10 years. 10 years. So now, whenever I see like a popular celebrity or like someone in the public eye, whenever I see them like deny the fact that they're Black and they're just like, I'm not Black, I'm X, insert their nationality, like some part of me is like, should I go in the comment section? Should I defend them? Should I like try to explain what they might have meant? And it's always, the answer is always no, because I did my time. 10 years of it.
If you listen closely to these stories, you will hear grief, but also strength. Because to realize you're Black in America is also to begin the journey of understanding community. Resilience and pride is to see the world as it truly is, not as might of equality wants it to be. And to decide to keep loving yourself and your people anyway, that's not just survival, that is radical humanity. And maybe, just maybe, by hearing these voices, more people will start to realize that the goal is not to pretend not to see color. The goal is to see it clearly, understand what it means, and still choose justice, equality, and love over denial. Thank you for watching my channel. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget that your skin does not make you less of a human being. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye. See you in my next video.